Hello, it's Acidic Dram, and today is Friday, July 22nd in the year 2022. Okay, what do I have today to talk about? Something that I thought about last night, and I'm actually going to start off with it, is the feeling of not having control in my life. My therapist, Dr. Lambro, was a cool cat. Actually, told me why I was getting such a a calm feeling when I was cooking. The thing that I like to do when I cook is what the chef term is mise en place, everything in its place. So like when I cook, I look at the recipe and I make sure I gather everything in that's needed for the recipe, and prep it and put it in its order. I got these cool little glass prep bowls, and it's cool because what happens is it takes a while to chop up the veg and measure out the ingredients, and what's cool is having everything set up. Like when I was baking, I would measure everything out, and like for example, for like cinnamon rolls, which is one of my favorite things to make. I haven't made them in a while because I am doing keto and it's too much of a temptation, but I'm gonna plan on making some cinnamon rolls again just because it's fun to do, and find somebody to give them to, maybe share them with my people at work or people at Amy's work. But it's fun because like cinnamon rolls it's like you have like three stages of you have 3 stages that you have to prep, and you prep the bread part, then you prep the filling part, and then you prep the icing part. So that's I find that incredibly satisfying is when you measure out all of the ingredients and you use a actual scale and you measure it using by weight, and you get everything exactly perfect weighed out, and it's a nice to have that control, that organization and control, because I have so much of my life is unorganized, and I don't have control over a lot of things. But in baking and cooking, you have control, and how I get that control and that satisfaction of being, in charge of what I'm doing is, setting up the ingredients prior to cooking, and that is a metaphor that can be used for the greater things in life. I'm still trying to translate that stuff to the greater meaning of my life. I mean, like I said yesterday, is like I haven't really invested in myself. Haven't invested in myself. Sorry. I haven't invested in myself, health wise, or educational wise, or relationship wise, friends wise, family wise, and it's because it's when you get to the point, like when I get to the point of like I said before, when it gets rough for me, or when it gets a little too difficult for me, or when I get any sign of struggle, instead of having a confrontation, having it over with, if someone offends you, instead of just saying it right out, I tend to pack it in a bag and put it on my shoulders, or build a wall and defend, and withdraw from it. I'd rather lose the war than have an uncomfortable situation, and to feel uncomfortable. I'd rather, and that's not always a good thing to do, is is to be to the point where you can't face problems or you can't confront problems and you just retreat, and you basically, or I basically just, I won't say, I'll say it, I'll say give up, and just let life roll on. I mean, I've lost a lot of friendships over my life, and other relationships. I don't know if they're lost. I think, well, yeah, there's some that are lost. There's definitely bridges that have been burned on a few occasions. There are some that just need to have a little bit of watering. There's this book called The Secret Garden, and a musical called The Secret Garden as well. And one of the songs in the musical is called Wick. And what wick means is that there's a little bit of life left in a plant. But you have to nurture it, and you have to nurture it, and water it and grow it, and you have to the care and feeding of that. So I found that to be true with the few people, you know who you are, that I've been communicating with on Facebook and Instagram messages, and even on YouTube messages. And again, it's not that it's, and most of the time, like when I disappear from people, it's because of me, because I don't know how to face confrontation, or I don't like being called out on my bullshit, and because I don't know how to handle it. I'm not, in the past I wasn't mature enough. I don't even think I'm mature enough now to handle it, but I think I can. I think I can handle that a little bit better now, through practicing, and through just being a little bit less fiery in life, and a little bit more practical in life, because everything used to be a war with me. Everything was a war with me. Anything that was said to me that could be perceived as slight, I took it the negative way. I take it the negative way. I don't take it as much negatively now, but I do catch myself, taking things, as an insult, or as a criticism of myself, and I, not like many people, they don't like that. So I used to really escalate that stuff when I was younger. Now I don't as much. I don't let it bother me as much. But a lot of the times a lot of the times that I always thought that I was just not redeemable as a friend, or redeemable as a person. But that's what the depression and anxiety tells me, and because the care and feeding of those two conditions become more important to myself, and it's totally destructive. It totally is. I mean, I actually kind of speak of it as like you're being possessed by those two, by a couple spirits, or entities named depression and anxiety. And like for my case, I embrace them so much that I've put all my nurturing, caring, and feeding into those two camps, and neglected myself, and neglected others around me. And I'm not proud of that fact. Actually, it's it's very sad that that I was using those two conditions as an excuse. But and I'm not saying that depression and anxiety are not real, because they are real. I've had them for probably my whole life, and thankfully it's never thankfully I've never I've had dark days, but I've never thankfully I've never had really bad depression and really bad anxiety. Maybe it is really bad. I don't know. I mean, staying, basically locking myself away from people for so long, maybe that is a bad thing. But now I find that doing these videos tends to help, and I engaging with the few people that I've been engaging with on Instagram and Facebook has helped a lot. And talking with people, strange people I've never met before. I mean, I met this dude a couple weeks ago now, flying my drone, and he's a super rad dude. And I'm just afraid to contact him and reach out and hang out with him. And he's a cool dude. I mean, I think I'd get along with him really well. And plus, there's another cat that I talked to at work the other day. Let me tell you the a problem that I have with that is that I did that. I mean, about 4 years ago when I moved down to New Jersey, I reached out to this one kid that was working in a department that I used to work in, and I talked to him. He seemed pretty cool at times, seemed pretty normal. He turned out to be a kind of a dork, kind of a nerd. I mean, so am I, but I guess he was a cool kid, but he is really he wasn't really into communicating with you. It was more about his ego and more about him. And it's like when you were talking to him, he'd always have his phone in his hand, and he'd be looking at his phone. And I can see why that is annoying, because I get called out on that too. And it's not respectful, and it really makes you feel as a person lesser than that they're not really interested in talking to you. You're just there to in their face, and you're just person there. And I'm not saying you're in your way, but you're just a piece of furniture in the room. That's ironic saying that, because I've treated several people like that, and that's not cool. And let's see. Speaking on that, but it's the fear of getting to know people. Getting a fear to getting close to people. That's my problem. Is to let people really know who I am. It's like I live a boring life, for God's sakes. I get up. Literally, I get up, do my work. After work, I sit down on the couch, watch TV with Amy, eat dinner. After that, maybe play a video game or two, or watch YouTube videos until until I'm tired and I go to sleep, and then I listen to podcasts all night, when I'm sleeping. So it's a pretty boring life, So it's not. Where am I going with that? I have no idea. I feel like I just got my brain blitzed as a blender. So I don't know where I'm going with that. Oh, so yeah. Anyway, so it's like I don't live that exciting of a life. It's not like that. It's not like that. I'm going out with people, and I guess that's the fear as well, as going out with people. Like say, I've been invited a couple times to go out with people, like after work, to have a drink, or to have a dinner and whatnot. I always decline, because the I don't I don't know if I have that value in myself that I see people have value in me, which I know is not right, because there's so many people reaching out to me and wishing me well, and giving me thumbs up and attaboys and that. And there's some people that I thought that our friendships or relationships were totally kaput, but then I find out that it's wick, it's there. It just needed to have a little bit of water and a little bit of fresh soil on it to let it grow and blossom, because I'm still afraid of of getting to know people closer, because I've seen I've seen, the friendships like that, and they get into arguments and fights. But what I found out that it's a normal situation. When I grew up, my household, there was a lot of fights between my parents, and I hate fighting. I hate it. But I am a little bastard though, because I'm a passive aggressive son of a bitch as well. So passive aggressiveness is just as bad, as actually giving in a fight. Because I do like, rubbing the salt in the wound. I don't like it, but my personality tends to, rub the salt in the wound, or become so sarcastic where it's not sarcasm, it's actually real insults disguised as sarcasm. And that's the beauty of sarcasm, because I'm just kidding. But you're not, but I'm not. I don't know where I'm going with this. But anyway, this is literally just, I have I feel like I'm drunk. I haven't drank in months. But, I guess that's what happens, is when I start talking into the camera, I just talk and just let it rip. And I don't know where I'm going with it. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it for the night. Day 5. Was this day 5? Yeah, day 5 of intermediate fasting went well. I did change up my menu a little bit today. I only had one keto chow shake. I had that for my 1 o'clock meal, and I had a couple string cheese with it. But then for my afternoon meal, my mid meal, I actually had I had some beef stew that I made a few months ago, and I froze in the freezer. I thawed that, and I put heated it up. Put it in a pan, and I put a couple eggs in it and some cheddar cheese in it to, spice it, or not spicing it up, but not to spice it up as a spice, but as to enhance it. And then for dinner, I made a cheeseburger with no bun, and then for dessert, I had a keto brownie, which was pretty good. It's made with almond flour, almond butter, almond milk. And then I had 2 cups of 10-calorie Jell-O, so I cheated. So I had that about a half hour ago. So anyway, so I'm starting day 6 right now, besides those 2 20-calorie Jell-O cups. So tomorrow it will be a challenging day because this will be my first intermediate fast for a weekend. And like typically on weekends, it's my life is work, home, dinner, YouTube, sleep, and Saturdays and usually on Friday nights. I was going to be playing video games tonight, but we got delayed again. One of the members in our crew works weekends, so hopefully this next week coming up we play. I mean, I just spent a total of $90 on a video game and a pair of cheap headphones to do this, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with these guys again. I mean, we used to hang out every week, multiple times a week, playing Halo, Destiny, Borderlands. It stopped, and it's been a big loss in my life. I mean, I hate to admit that video game friends is a loss. But it's a loss. It's a friendship that we've made. We used to hang around, bullshit with each other, and jokes, have fun, laugh, and I've missed that a lot, and it was a big loss for me. So it's been almost 3 years, almost 3 or 4 years since I stopped playing with people. So it will be. It'll be fun to do coming up. So I'm looking forward to that. So I hope that Wednesday or Thursday night next week works out for us. Because if it doesn't, I will probably just give up and never play again. No, I'm just kidding. It's just frustrating. I know people have lives. People get busy, and it's not about me. It's not about me. And they're not, the delays are not because of me. They hate me. It's because life happens. People have busy lives, and I need to learn to accept that. And you know what? Actually, it's funny. I got that bit from Joe DeRosa. He was on Tiger Belly podcast this week. The last half hour of that podcast, actually, that whole podcast was full of gems on a lot of insights. I mean, it's really funny, but there's a lot of insights regarding relationships, relationship behavior, and how one, about how, it's basically just about the care and feeding of friendships, and about how when someone doesn't have, I think Joe DeRosa was talking about how he had friends in high school, and they want to do something, they actually have to schedule it. They have to go, okay, February 12th at this day we're going to meet at this place, because they have so many lives. They're so busy with their lives that they can't just pick up like on a Thursday night and say, hey, what are you doing? Hey, jump on Destiny. All right, we'll play Destiny for the next 4 hours. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. I hope you all had a good day, and I will chat with you all tomorrow. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.